The research topic I will present is tourism and conservation in Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone was established by the federal government in 1872 as the world's first national park. Yellowstone was designated as a World Heritage Site in 1978, meeting selection criteria 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yellowstone is located mainly in Wyoming, with small portions in Montana and Idaho. 90% of the park is almost completely untouched by humans. Only 2% of the park contains infrastructure and roads. Yellowstone is known for its natural beauty, wilderness, and wildlife. Yellowstone is home to many of the world's endangered species. People visit Yellowstone to see the wildlife of bison, grizzly bears, and wolves. Yellowstone is also known for the amazing geysers and geothermal features. Yellowstone has 2/3 of the world's geysers, totaling 300. A few of the acts passed by Congress that affected Yellowstone and other parks in the United States include the Yellowstone Act of 1872, established the world's first national park at Yellowstone. The Organic Act of 1916 established the first National Park Service to manage all existing parks. The Wilderness Act of 1964 created the National Wilderness Preservation System to secure the wilderness for future generations. The Natural Environmental Policy Act of 1969 created the nation's basic Environmental Protection Act, directing federal agencies to decrease negative environmental impacts from development. The Endangered Species Act of 1973 required federal agencies to ensure their activities didn't jeopardize any endangered or threatened plant or animal species. Tourism and environmental impacts at Yellowstone. Over 4 million people visit Yellowstone in 2019. Tourists come to Yellowstone for ecotourism, which is growing in popularity. Ecotourism finds ways to enjoy a destination while leaving it in as good or better condition without leaving a human footprint. Recreational tourism is also popular, where visitors enjoy the scenery and wildlife while hiking, biking, fishing, cross-country skiing, and snowmobiling. Tourism impacts to the environment include air pollution, litter, noise, wildlife disturbance, road repair and infrastructure, surface water pollution, and climate change. Climate change is one of the biggest environmental problems facing Yellowstone. Carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases from vehicles are major contributors to climate change. Climate change can cause damage to the ecosystem and destroy vegetation and entire species. Climate change increases fires and intensity, as seen in the photos. The fire of 1988 burned 1.2 million acres. The photo from 1988 shows extensive scar damage in red, which is still visible 28 years later, as seen in the recovery photo from 2016. The literature review, Ecological Implications of Climate Change on the Greater Yellowstone Ecosystem, was a great source of information on climate change. Conservation at Yellowstone. Yellowstone National Park's planning and management are leading the way when it comes to conservation. They continually monitor the environmental ecosystems, wildlife habitats, and tourism impacts, trying to find ways to improve the environment and make it sustainable. All areas of the park practice green standards of refuse, reduce, repurpose, reuse, recycle, and rot. Yellowstone is part of the Green Parks Plan, which is a strategic plan for sustainable operations in the National Park Services. The objective is to improve environmental performance while being climate friendly, energy smart, water wise, greening our rides, and buying green. Yellowstone is a member of the Climate Friendly Parks program that helps parks measure greenhouse gases and develop sustainable plans to reduce climate change. Yellowstone National Park is doing an outstanding job of conservation and sustainable tourism.